Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, shockingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. This is live stream 960. If you're not overly familiar with the show, let me point out, super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and we'll normally take a first look at a tabletop game. Sometimes it's a board game, sometimes a role-playing game. Every once in a while, I'll actually do a live review too. But tonight, we are actually going to take a first look at both Tiny Epic Vikings from Gamelyn Games, as well as its expansion Ragnarok, also from Gamelyn Games. So we're going to be diving on in to take a peek at these in just a bit. So I will mention that if you are tuning in because you want to check out the live unboxing, it's probably going to be about 40 minutes before we get into those, because we always tackle the tabletop gaming news first around here. So if you're watching live, kick back, relax, enjoy yourself. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Now, of course, if you are watching 30 minutes or more after the show has ended, there will be timestamps. So if you're an impatient type and you just got to get to that first look, well, you'll be able to. You'll be able to jump past the tabletop gaming news, although there's a lot of cool news tonight. But you'll be able to use those timestamps. They are located in the show notes. And of course, depending on the device you might be watching this on, those timestamps might be right there in the timeline of the video right in front of you. All depends on what you're using to watch the show. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And of course, because this is a live stream, there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you are a subscriber to the channel, and you have been for at least 48 hours, you can take part in chat. So if you want to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, a comment, maybe there's something about Tiny Epic Vikings you want a closer look at, by all means, chime in, and I will be doing my best to respond. Sometimes things fly by in chat that I miss, but I will do my best to respond. So far, it looks like Viper Dave is in chat. That might be it. That's kind of weird. Unless we're having another issue with chat again, which does happen from time to time. Let's take a quick peek, because it wouldn't shock me. Let's see what we got here. No, I think that's it. I think we only do have Viper Dave hanging out. Oh, Sarah D., one of our chat moderators, she is lurking. That's cool. Excellent. So, very nice. Very nice. All right. Anyway, hopefully, if you're here in the U.S., you had a very nice holiday weekend, enjoyed your Labor Day. I just got some more videos out there. That was kind of about it. My review for Dungeons and Dragons, Phandelver, I should say, and below. I got the town in the role-playing game adventure in my head because people keep going back and forth how it's pronounced. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Anyway, my review for Dungeons and Dragons, Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk, is up and out there. And I announced the winner of my copy of this friendly local game store edition of the adventure book. So if you got into the running, take a peek, find out if you're the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. For some reason, it's strangely humid down here in the Duct Tape Studios tonight. It's not super hot. I mean, it was warm enough earlier today. It was like 90. But I don't know. I was down here earlier and I was fine. And now all of a sudden it's just kind of sticky and icky. And it's not the sticky icky either. So it's just sticky and icky. All right, let's jump on into the news because Pungo Games, a new division of Worthington Publishing, has launched a Kickstarter for Lands of the Mesozoic. Here's the scoop. The Mesozoic era spans between 252 and 66 million years ago and is subdivided into the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods. This is the time that saw dinosaurs first appear, dominate the world, and go extinct, except for some groups of avian dinosaurs, i.e. birds. However, dinosaurs weren't the only animals of the Mesozoic. They shared their habitats with amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and others. In Lands of the Mesozoic, 1 to 4 players will create and manage their own Mesozoic ecosystems using 3 main types of cards that symbolize the different levels of the food chain. The game comes with over 120 individual cards, all drawn by award-winning Ukrainian paleo artist Sergei Krasovsky. I think that's how it's pronounced. Probably not even close. Players will first lay down land cards that represent the habitats that provide shelter and plant, insect, fish food. Land cards in play are used to pay for the cost of herbivore cards. These are the animals using the resources generated in those specific types of land. In turn, herbivore cards in play can generate the resources necessary for playing carnivore cards. These are the animals at the top of the food chain, and they control the population size of herbivore species in the ecosystem. All 3 types of cards need to be in balance for the ecosystem to be sustainable in the long term. However, competition between species and the shifting nature of the surface of the Earth will trigger extinction events of animals and habitats. Why did I keep saying habitats? I said habitats, not habitats. I told you it's just strangely humid out here. Throwing me off a little bit. These extinction events of animals and habitats will open niches for new species to appear and spread. At the end of the game, players will score points for played cards, collected victory point tokens, and achieved common and personal goals. The winner is the player with the most points after 3 periods of 7, 6, and 5 rounds, respectively. Lands of the Mesozoic is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays around 60 to 90 minutes. This Kickstarter project is already beyond the 400% funding mark. You can reserve a copy of the game for a $55 pledge through October 7th. Expected delivery is next March. Now, I do want to mention, I shared a first look video for Lands of the Mesozoic, and that is as close to a retail copy as I could possibly get. And then I just shared my Kickstarter preview, which I never call it a review because it's not necessarily the finished product, but I did enjoy it quite a lot. So if you are curious about Lands of the Mesozoic, by all means, check out my 2 videos. Kathy Evans is with us in chat. Good to see you, Kathy. Thanks for popping on in. Let's talk about some role-playing game news because there are 2 new Doctor Who books which are arriving from Cubicle 7 Entertainment this November for the Doctor Who role-playing game. Here's what I know about 60 Years of Doctor Who, Volumes 1 and 2. You like how that rhymes? It's a big year for Doctor Who as the series reaches its 60th anniversary this November. We're delighted to announce that Cubicle 7 will mark the occasion with the release of 2 role-playing game books celebrating the Doctor's adventures. Book 1 covers 1963 through 1996, from the first Doctor to the 8th Doctor. Journey back to where it all began 60 years ago as the mysterious Doctor whisked away 2 unsuspecting school teachers in the TARDIS, traveling to distant planets, the far future, and Earth's past. This book takes you through the Doctor's classic adventures up to the Doctor's dramatic regeneration into an incarnation more suited to battle against the Daleks, from an unearthly child to Knight of the Doctor. Book 2 covers 2005 through 2023, from the War Doctor to the revelations of the Fugitive Doctor and beyond, from the 8th Doctor's surprising regeneration into an incarnation more suited to once again battle the Daleks, becoming the War Doctor, through to the 13th Doctor's regeneration into an unexpectedly familiar face. Who could that be? From the War Doctor's appearance in Day of the Doctor and his return as the 9th Doctor to the Power of the Doctor and beyond. In addition, each Doctor has a new adventure that mysteriously interweaves to create an epic multi-Doctor experience that spans millennia. Relive the Doctor's adventures and meet their most trusted companions with these 2 volumes. They offer a wealth of information for game masters, players, and fans to celebrate the anniversary of the world's longest-running science fiction television series. Each of these 2 128-page hardcovers will carry an MSRP of $39.99. They are arriving in stores this November. Pre-orders have not begun yet, but they will begin shortly, so stay tuned for more developments. Do want to mention, the only images that I had available are the 2 covers of these books. So I am sharing some images from my favorite Doctors and the Doctor's source books, which are fantastic. I tell people all the time, because every once in a while, you'll see Cubicle 7 Entertainment do a bundle featuring the Doctor's source books, and they are just spectacular. Now, I do want to mention, I thought it was kind of funny that Cubicle 7 Entertainment is indicating, oh, these books are perfect for players, but there's adventures in these volumes. Each of the Doctors gets an adventure. I'm guessing it's adventures for you to run as a game master, right? Because these are supposed to be role-playing game books. This is not simply a celebration of the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. We shall see, because, of course, I will be sharing these with you probably before they hit stores, but maybe right about there. Sarah D says, I have the source books. I don't use them for role-playing games, but I use them for writing. Yes, I'm that geek. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're actually excellent source books, especially for the 2nd Doctor, Patrick Troughton, because so many of his episodes are gone. They're lost forever because the BBC erased the tapes so they could reuse them. There are some of the first Doctor adventures that are not complete because those tapes were erased as well. But unfortunately, it is Patrick Troughton that suffers the biggest hit as far as those go. And the 2nd Doctor source book is great because it's got all the adventures in it. It talks about each of the storylines And I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, Indarius Termina and Kevin R. Smith are joining us in chat. Welcome. Let's move right along. The eagerly anticipated cyberpunk role-playing game Cities Without Number from Sine Nomine Games is now available in print and PDF. This is the final edition. I've got the skinny. Cities Without Number is a cyberpunk role-playing game built for sandbox adventures in a dystopia of polished chrome and bitter misery. It's both a full-fledged Sine Nomine toolkit for building a cyberpunk world of your own and an old-school Renaissance-inspired game system for playing out the reckless adventures of the desperate men and women who live in it. Whether polished metal or flesh and blood, your operators will risk their lives and more to seize those precious things a merciless world would keep from them. In its pages, you'll find an old-school inspired game system that's fully compatible with the science fiction Stars Without Number game and its fantasy sister game, Worlds Without Number. Cyberware and sophisticated high-tech gear suitable for chroming the most discriminating cyborg and equipping the most refined of street operators. Playability-focused hacking rules designed to give hacking-focused PCs useful and important things to do without forcing an entire separate minigame on the GM. There are gear rules for drones and vehicles to better equip PCs who want to bring in a little extra iron on their next mission. System-neutral Sine Nomine world-building tools for helping a game master create their own custom cyberpunk world or elaborate the details of existing worlds and settings. There's gang, corp, and city district creation tools for fleshing your world out with people and places that fit. 50 mission tags for adventure creation, plus guidelines and step-by-step procedures for handling facility infiltrations, managing local heat, selling loot, and other activities beloved of corp-hating street scum everywhere. There's even a default campaign setting of the city, a pre-made backdrop to help you get into the game as quickly as possible. And that's just what's in the free version of the game. Yes, like all of the Sine Nomine Without Number releases, you can pick this up for free. The deluxe edition includes cyberware quirks and features for particular megacorp product lines, variant engineered human types for PCs who don't fit the baseline mold, optional rules for the psychological strain of cyber alienation, optional rules for cheap street cyber for those campaign settings where every goon with a knife has some wire beneath his skin. There's spell casting, spirit summoning, and magic items for GMs who want to add a dash of magic into their cyberpunk world. That reminds me of another role-playing game. Wonder what that would be. For more than a decade, the Without Number games have given GMs and players the tools they need to forge their own sandbox worlds. Cities Without Number adds to that, so get it now and build a dystopia that's all your own. The 264-page deluxe edition hardcover of Cities Without Number with PDF is available from Drive-Thru RPG for $64.99, or you can grab the deluxe edition in PDF for $24.99. And once again, there is a free edition which is available. Don't miss out. I would think this would be kind of interesting to pick up if you are a Cyberpunk Red fan and you're looking for tools to kind of flesh out some of Night City a little more, or to generate ideas for adventures and things like that. Very nice. Very nice. Tessie Trekkie is with us. So Tessie Trekkie says, get the free version to everyone, or they will disown you all. The game is awesome. Buy it. Buy it. Tessie Trekkie also points out it's Shadowrun done right using these rules. What are you trying to imply, that Catalyst Game Labs doesn't do Shadowrun right? Matthew Blackwell is with us in chat. Said they'd like to be able to find something like TSR's old Star Frontiers. Well, you can get Star Frontiers. It's available in PDF. I'm trying to remember, there is another open source role-playing game that's built off of Star Frontiers. I'm trying to remember if they shut that down or not. Because I know there is still, I think it's bi-monthly. I think there's a digital magazine that comes out that is for Star Frontiers. I think it's called The Frontiersman or something like that. And that is still available through Drive-Thru RPG. I think it's at like 40 issues as well. Kevin says, Cyberpunk really isn't his thing, but the free version probably has a bunch of stuff that might be usable with Stars Without Number. I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. Tessie Drake says, I have no good words about Catalyst, ergo I will hold my peace. Yep. Can't say something nice, right? You do notice I don't really share Catalyst Game Labs news very often. Every once in a while when they come out with something for like BattleTech, like a starter set, yeah, then I'll mention it. Anyway, you might be wondering, why am I not sharing the Sine Nomine website address? Why am I sharing Drive-Thru RPG? The reason is that the Sine Nomine website address is too long. It's like Shopify and all this other stuff. And it's like, I'm just going to put Drive-Thru RPG. I think Cities Without Number is the #1 bestseller right now anyway. So it's not as if you'll miss it when you go over to Drive-Thru RPG. Let's wrap up. Final news story. Now available in print and PDF is the latest supplement for the Traveler role-playing game from Mongoose Publishing. Here's the lowdown on Aliens of Charted Space Volume 4. Aliens of Charted Space Volume 4 explores 4 species within, you guessed it, charted space. The nature-loving Surat, the pacifistic Zaktik. Come on, you know, I gotta mispronounce these fictional people, places, and things. The mercantile Gervin and the xenophobic Tezcat. Within these covers, you'll discover the culture and society of these species, as well as their physiology, psychology, and societies. The Surat are a human subspecies transplanted from Terra to Ilish by the ancients. They claim to be a major race as they independently developed interstellar travel based on generation ships. But as they had not developed jump technology, others do not accept their claim. The Zatek, one of the oldest species associated with the Hive Federation, the Zatek are a peaceful, some would say cowardly, species. Their natural tendency to structure and organization have made them invaluable to the Hivers in running the vast bureaucratic machine required for their federation. Then there's the Gervin. So like Fred Gervin, male prostitute from Saturday Night Live? Oh no, sorry, that was Fred Garvin. Yeah, okay. The Gervin are a hexapodal species resembling Terran otters and minks. They were the first Sophants encountered by early Hiver explorers, and their language was adopted as the primary form of communication in the Federation. Consummate traders and merchants, the Gervin are the commercial backbone of the Hive Federation. And then we've got the Tezcat, a cat-like semi-humanoid species. The Tezcat are violent and warlike, with a xenophobic hatred for any Sophant that does not resemble themselves. Much of their history has been marred with war and bloodshed, but through the unification of the Shaper Church, they have established a pocket empire and proven to their neighbors that they are too dangerous to cross. This book also contains rules for creating travelers from each species, along with high guard and central supply catalog entries. The 254-page hardcover with PDF can be ordered for an MSRP of $59.99, or grab just the PDF alone over at Drive-Thru RPG for $35.99. Yeah. Always like to see new Traveler stuff. Always dig new Traveler stuff. And yes, goes without saying, it's pricey. Yes, we know. I know. I get kind of tired of talking about how things are getting just overpriced, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just cheap. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I do like Traveler. Mongoose Traveler second edition, I guess, is officially what it is. I actually like it quite a lot. I wonder if I think that bundle of holding is over. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was a humble bundle that had a bunch of Traveler, and it was a song. I want to say, I think there was a couple of weeks ago that I did the news piece. And I said, hey, everybody out there is always talking about how expensive Mongoose Traveler second edition is. Go get it, right? Kevin says same thing. Mongoose Traveler is good if you can get a bundle for it. So far, I think it's about twice a year that we see a nice money-saving bundle on Mongoose Traveler second edition. Tessie Trekkie says, well, neo-fascist gonna fascist. Tessie Trekkie has this new Genesis, the one that had the every negative stereotype about black people, alien race. I believe it was. I believe that's what it was, which is interesting because that's going to segue to something I'm going to talk about after I wrap up the news. There you go. Jack Hank says, I just got a huge amount of PDFs of Traveler through Humble Bundle, and boy, they were impressed. Yeah, because it was an impressive bundle. That's for sure. It was a really sweet bundle. All right. So that is it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit Drive-Thru RPG, Storytellers Vault, Dungeon Masters Guild, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale, and it doesn't cost you anything more. And that really does help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. But if you like the video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, please stop by paypal.me/thegaminggang to make a small donation. Hell, you can buy me a 2-liter bottle of soda. As I wet the old whistle. And thankfully, there are quite a lot of people out there who utilize our banner ads and or stop by paypal.me/thegaminggang. So big tip of the cap to everybody. Matthew Blackwell says, yeah, I'm cheap too. They just bought the Basic Fantasy 4 ebook today. Less than $10. It's a great game. I'm actually covering 4th edition very shortly. In fact, if things don't change, that's what we're looking at on Thursday's show. So, boy, you guys are like in tune with me tonight. Talking about that goofy new Genesis or whatever. I'm going to talk about somebody who's peripherally involved with it, I guess. And talking about Basic Fantasy 4th edition. So pretty wild, pretty cool. All right. So that's it for the news tonight. A couple of things I wanted to mention. There are a couple of people who are under the weather. So we were just talking about new Genesis. Ernie Gygax, Gary Gygax's son, who I don't know what his affiliation was with that new Genesis, because I thought I thought I had heard he did an interview or something, and he was shocked by what was in it, or at least he said he was shocked by what was in it. So yes, so Kevin R. Smith is saying, is it about Ernie Gygax's hospitalization? Yes. So I guess they had to like life flight him to the University of Wisconsin hospital. So I never like to hear that kind of stuff. It's really too bad that the Gygax family's kind of fractured. Those kind of things happen, I guess, when there's money involved. So sorry to hear about that. But yes, I guess throughout the summer, Ernie Gygax has been having some major health issues, heart-related, which that's what did in his dad. So well wishes to the Gygax family, because, it's not only the person who's sick that you have to feel for, So, and then I also heard that I want to say her name is pronounced McGay Baker, one of the designers of Apocalypse World, Vincent Baker's wife. I believe, I think there's actually even a bundle of games that is out there. I heard about this just like 20 minutes before I started doing the stream tonight. So I guess she has breast cancer. So there is a game bundle, I believe, that is out there. I will share a news piece on thegaminggang.com later on tonight once I track it down. That's I guess it's there to help defray medical expenses and things like that. And, if you think about it, Apocalypse Engine is Apocalypse World, right? So when you see stuff that's powered by the apocalypse, that's what it is. So if you are a fan of any of the PBTA role-playing games out there, or ones that can actually trace their genesis to Apocalypse Engine, like Band of Blades, that's an example there. Dungeon World, obviously enough. But if it weren't for the Bakers, you wouldn't have those games. So if I remember correctly, I think the Bakers own Magpie Games. I might be wrong, but I thought they are the owners of Magpie Games. So get well, healing thoughts to the Bakers as well. So I always hate hearing that kind of stuff when people have health issues and that. But unfortunately, it is part of life. I know that one for a fact. So anyway, once again, stay tuned. I will have, once I track down that bundle, I'll put a news piece up later on tonight. All right, so that's kind of all the rambling I wanted to share tonight, because we're going to jump on into Tiny Epic Vikings in just a few minutes. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
2 minutes to go to the snack bar for a quick refresher before showtime. No crowds to buck, just go get it. You'll be sorry you missed your chance to enjoy some of the many tempting goodies waiting for you. Stretch your legs now while the stretching's good. There's still time to get a mouth-watering hot dog, a sparkling ice-cold soda, assorted flavors of ice cream, all kinds of candy, the most delicious steaming hot coffee you ever drank, and freshly popped popcorn piping hot. Make a beeline for the snack bar right now to quench your thirst.
Can't get enough Super Sugar Crisp. I'll get Sugar Bear with my blob traption.
Love the taste of Super Sugar Crisp. Who's giving us Super Sugar Crisp?
The blob, Sugar Bear.
And my blob traption.
Try this switch, Blob.
Smart thinking, Sugar Bear.
Smart thinking to have a Sugar Bear breakfast every morning featuring vitamin fortified post Super Sugar Crisp. A taste to put a smile on your face.
Wilkins Instant Coffee soothes the headaches of life.
I don't have any headaches.
Care for cream and sugar?
And now, here comes Big Bruiser with light flashing. There's the wreck. That Big Bruiser up to it. This lever puts the power winch into action. And Big Bruiser does it again. Comes with jack, tools, fender, and spare tire to repair the wreck. Pickup truck included, too. Get battery-powered Big Bruiser by Marks.
I always get a kick out of these huge, like, cars and trucks that they had back in the 50s and 60s as far as toys, even into the 70s. But some of those are just massive. It's like, my gosh. And it was probably $15 for that big tow truck and pickup truck together. So pretty wild. Pretty cool. And Wonkins lived. Okay, granted, he's probably got a concussion, but he lived. So there is that as well. Roger Perdome is with us in chat. Good to see you, Roger. And I also saw that Tessie Trekkie had pointed out that they had paid $20 Australian for a bundle of 6th edition Shadowrun. They said they paid far too much. All right, Tessie Trekkie, tell us how you really feel. Don't hold back. All right, so tonight we are going to dive on in and take a look at Tiny Epic Vikings from Gamelyn Games. It is designed by Scott Alms with artwork provided by Nicoletta Vazzi. The game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Plays around 45 to 60 minutes. And this deluxe edition carries an MSRP of $35. We are also going to be taking a look at the Ragnarok expansion from the same design and art team. That carries an MSRP of $15. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Tiny Epic Vikings from Gamelyn Games. Do want to mention before we jump on in that Michael Coe from Gamelyn Games was kind enough to give me these 2 review copies, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. These days, it's important that you know that. All right, let me get the shrink wrap off here. In Tiny Epic Vikings, lead a clan of Vikings over 3 eras in hopes of claiming the icy lands as your own. Play Viking cards that represent your clan's leaders, choosing the best builders, harvesters, explorers, and warriors. Raid and conquer the islands with settlers, build boats and temples to gain influence, and battle for the favor of the gods. And then we have what defines a Tiny Epic game. And it's, I can barely read that. I guess tiny font would be one. I say it all the time. There is so much gameplay packed into the Tiny Epic game line. Okay, so we've got our rule book. Let's take a look at this first. So learn while you play. So there is a diced tutorial that's available to us. In the frigid runic isles, the Vikings reign supreme. These determined explorers navigate the icy fjords, build fertile settlements upon rocky crags, and fight for the glory of their clans with blood and steel. Only the gods stand above them, and it is every Viking's dream to serve their deity in the afterlife, Valhalla. In Tiny Epic Vikings, lead a clan of Vikings over 3 eras in hopes of claiming the icy lands as your own. So we've got a double-sided board. We've got 4 clan mats, 48 Viking cards, 18 favor cards, 6 god mats. That's interesting. We have a score mat. Well, it's era/score mat. 24 settlers in 4 colors, 16 boats, 8 temples, 4 scoring markers, 13 villages, 9 runes, 3 fury markers, 12 resource markers, a chieftain marker, and a raven. All right, so we've got our game set up. Talking about placing the map board in the center and 1 rune placed on each island, matching its icon. Village on each spot on the map, but not on the, looks like ship spots. So this is what it's going to look like in the center. It looks like we've got favor cards on the top and bottom. I wonder if that's going to be kind of a market. And then we've got our clan mat, which we're going to track our resources, wood, food, and steel, our boats, our temples, and our settlers. So we are going to draft cards. Players are dealt an initial hand of Viking cards. They choose a card to keep, then pass the remaining cards to the next player. So in Era 1, we get 4 cards. Era 2, we get 5 cards. Era 3, 6 cards. So we've got a drafting aspect here. Then we've got actions. So we can resolve a battle. We can play a card and perform its actions. We can dedicate a village. Then we've got a breakdown on how these battles work. Flaming Heron's with us. Good to see Flaming Heron from across the pond, hanging out. I believe Nero's Fiddle is in chat with us as well. I don't believe I had a chance to say hello, so howdy. So we're talking about the map, the islands and fjords. We have leader actions, sail a boat, move a boat, dock a boat, deploy settlers, attack opponent settlers, raid villages, explore with settler, harvest, build. Well, see, there's a lot going on in this game. Talking about taking control of an island, increasing the island god's fury. It says whenever you take an island rune, either stolen from a player or directly from the island, immediately increase that god's fury by 1. So we have influence. So I would guess you're going to be influencing these islands by building villages and temples. So we've got a 2-player game variant. We've got a solitaire game as well. And a quick reference guide. Where do we have the finale here? There you go, final scoring. I was going to say, what happened at the end of the game? All I saw suddenly was 2-player game variant. All right, so all in all, we are looking at 14 pages of rules. Well, really 12. All right, so we've got that. We have got all of these markers. That's something else that's always really nice in, especially the deluxe editions of Tiny Epic titles. We always have really nice tokens in that. So this has both sides. So these, I believe, were the settlers. There's a resource marker. Another resource marker, I think. So we've got ships. This is a temple. That's one of the runes. That is a village. And I think this is our other resources. And we do have these in 4 colors. And it looks like the runes are in 3 different colors, kind of pink, blue, and orange. So we've got all of those. Then in here, I think these are player mats. No. Maybe this is for, well, I can tell these are 2 gods because it's Hel, goddess of death, and Loki, god of mischief. So these are 2 of, oh, you know what? This is a little mini expansion, shamans. So we have new gods. I think these are the god cards here. Oh, that's cool. So in the deluxe edition, we get a little mini expansion. And these are cairns, I guess, is what this is supposed to be. And here, these are cairn tokens. Sweet. Put these back in here. And these cards have a linen finish. At least those god cards did. So it looks like we've got various size cards here. I can tell these have a linen finish just by peeking at these. So here's our board. This is our dual-sided board. Pretty small. So we've got that right here. So we've got the 2 sides. So does one have, one's got to have more islands, right? Yes. Okay, so this is for 1 to 3 players on this side. Artwork's very cool. I like the artwork quite a lot. And then this is for 4 players. So we'll just leave the 4-player here. And then we've got the little European card size. I think these are those rune cards, and you would put them like up here, above, and below. So down here. It looked like there were 6 of each. So, of course, obviously, you're going to shuffle these up. You're not going to have the same exact runes all in a row. So we've got those. And then the art on the back, really nice. I say it all the time that Tiny Epic Games, there's the production quality is always top notch. You're getting so much for a really small price tag. I gotta say, there are times that I see stuff that Michael Coe puts out with Gamelyn Games, and I think to myself, how in the world were they able to put it out at that price point? So here we've got, just grab my hobby knife. Make life far easier. I think these are the Viking cards. So these are going to be our different Vikings who make up our clans. Yep. Okay. So they're all Viking cards. I'm going to move this out of the way so we can see these a little better. Carl. Hilda. And what is this? This is their combat skill, probably their builder skill. Something along those lines. So these are these all going to be different? Let's see. So far they are. I think they are. I think they're all going to be different. As far as the artwork, I mean, they could easily have, of course they would have different ratings and things like that. But it looks like all the artwork's going to be unique too. That's pretty wild. Because think about it. A lot of game companies out there, they'd be like, well, we'll recycle the art for the farmer types, and we'll recycle the art for the builder types. And maybe we'll have, a male and female warrior. But here we've got all of these have different artwork. That's pretty cool. And what did the rules say? There were 58 cards, I think. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, get these out of the way. Then we've got our player boards. Yeah, all the cards have linen finish, is what I'm seeing here. So we have a player board, and then we've got our tracking board. I think this is our era board here. These are our player boards. So this is where we're going to track our resources. Now that's something that we see quite often in a Tiny Epic game, is tracking our resources down here. Looks like we're going to track our settlers. They're going to go there. Our ships are going to go here. Now, I don't know if we're going to have ships that are already unlocked or if we're going to have to earn them. And then here we've got temples. Cool. And then here we've got, these are the different eras. So we've got 4 turns in the first era, 5 turns in the second, 6 turns in the, or no, I'm sorry, those were cards that we get. 4, 5, and 6. And then we've got our god cards. We've got Odin, the All-Father. Man, I'm loving this artwork. I don't know about you, all of you out there, but I am really impressed. I am really impressed. But I say that all the time whenever we're looking at Tiny Epic Games. We have Frigg, goddess of prophecy. Thor. What is he the god of again? We have Freya, goddess of the hunt. Sif, goddess of the harvest, I should say. And we have Njord, god of the seas. And I wonder if this is where we're going to be tracking their fury. It's across here. And then, of course, we have the backing on that as well. So in the core game for Tiny Epic Vikings, we have the dual-sided board. We have our god cards. We've got our turn tracker. So I wonder if this is for our solitaire play on the back here. Could be. We have our player boards in the different colors. We have our Viking cards, our rune cards. We have a whole slew of tokens. And we also got our little mini expansion that comes with the deluxe edition, the shamans. Then we got our rule book, and that is what we find inside Tiny Epic Vikings. Now let's take a look here at Ragnarok. See, there's so much stuff in this, I can't even close it. Can't even get it flush. I have to mess around with that. Okay, let's see what we've got here. This truly is the end of the world, Ragnarok. The sea in the bitter north is frozen over, and the giants of Jotunheim are devastating the runic islands. The power of the gods is waning, and they are furious. In a last-ditch effort, they have deployed their Valkyries, the winged warrior maidens of Asgard, to aid the mortal Vikings in slaying the scourge of giants. Every true-blooded Viking knows that to give one's life felling a giant would be the greatest honor for their clan. Okay, so once again, this carries an MSRP of $15. So this is our Slayers rule book. There's only a few pages here. So it looks like we have a brand new map, Valkyrie tokens, Valkyrie mats, 6 more Viking cards. They are Valkyrie Viking cards. We have 6 giant Slayer Viking cards, 9 giant tokens, and 6 more God mats. So it's showing us how to set up the expansion. So we're going to use the Bitter North board instead of the game map, I should say, that we had in the core game. Everybody gets a Valkyrie mat and 3 Valkyries, which goes next to your clan mat. So we shuffle the Valkyrie and Giant Slayer cards into the Viking deck, and we shuffle the 6 god mats into the mats to draw from for our gods. So I think there's 6 in play during the game. So we have a new action, slaying a giant. It says giants reduce fury. It says during the cleanup phase, a new step is taken for each giant currently on a region. Based on its rune, reduce the corresponding god's fury by 1. Aha. So looks like the god's fury is actually something good that helps the players, seemingly. So we got a 2-player setup. We also have a solo setup for it too. Nice. And these are the actions, or no, they're enemy cards. Oh, this is still in the solo game. So there you have that. So we've got more Viking cards. We've got the Valkyrie cards. We got some new god cards. Here's our new board. Let's take a look at the new board here. So this is the Frozen North now. So that's for 4 players. That is for 1 to 3 players. So we'll just put it on that one here. And then these are our Valkyrie tokens. Get a better look at that. So there we go. That's our Valkyrie token. These are our giants. And it looks like we've got a number on the back. So those are the giants. We've got 9 of those. We've got a dozen of the Valkyrie tokens. And then take a look at the Valkyrie mats and the new gods that we've got. So in total, we have 14 gods, because we had 2 in that little mini expansion. So these are the Valkyrie mats right here. And Darius says, whenever I think Njord, I think of Pinky and the Brain. What are we going to do tonight, Brain? What do we do every night, Pinky? I always like how Brain is trying to like channel Orson Welles. So we've got Baldar, God of Beauty, Heimdall the Watchman, Nana, Goddess of Peace, Sigyn, Goddess of Loyalty, Saul, Goddess of the Sun, and Tyr, God of Bloodshed. So these are our new gods. And then we've got our Valkyries and our Giant Killers. So that's a dozen fresh cards here too. All with brand new art, all unique artwork. All right, so those are our Valkyries, and then these are our giant killers. That's kind of cool. I like that. Getting a bit of a Red Sonja vibe off of that one. Nice. All right, so this is the Ragnarok expansion for Tiny Epic Vikings. So we've got the 6 new gods. We have 6 Valkyrie cards and 6 giant killer cards. I guess I'll put the new board in there first. We've got giants. We have Valkyrie tokens. We had the new Valkyrie mats that we're also going to be utilizing. Then we have the little rule book. Let's see if I can sneak this on this way to fit this stuff on in. And that is what we find when we take everything from Tiny Epic Vikings Ragnarok outside the box. Very cool. So we got Ragnarok and we have Tiny Epic Vikings. I got to say, my brother and my nephew and my best friend Elliot Miller and his son Brian all really like Tiny Epic Games. So I will have absolutely no problem getting people to the table to be playing both Tiny Epic Vikings and the Ragnarok expansion. So stay tuned for my reviews. Actually, I'll probably just put it together in one review of both, but that will be in the not so distant future. Once again, Tiny Epic Vikings is available now from Gamelyn Games. It is for 1 to 4 players. Carries an MSRP of $35 for the deluxe edition, which is what we are looking at. And the Ragnarok expansion is available now as well, and it carries an MSRP of $15. So very nice. Very nice. So Indaria says, Tyr's hand being a shield is a new interpretation. All right. So kind of a fast show tonight. Kind of surprised. Kind of zipped through it pretty quickly. All right. What's on the agenda for the rest of the week? Well, tomorrow it's going to be another War Game Wednesday. That's right, because I am going to be unboxing and taking a first look at North Africa 41 from GMT Games. This is designed by Mark Simonich. So we're going to take a peek at this on tomorrow's show. And then, as I had mentioned earlier, unless something shows up that needs to be, like shared right away, on Thursday, we're going to dive on in and take a look at the 4th edition of Basic Fantasy Role-Playing. So we will jump on in and take a peek at this. And I got to point out, if you are into like the OSR and you want kind of more modern style mechanics, I talk about Castles and Crusades all the time. Basic Fantasy is worth a peek too, because for one, everything in PDF is free. Yes, you heard me. It's all free. The only time you ever have to spend any money is if you want the physical books. And I want to say this is going for less than $10. I think it's $8 and change. So Chris Gonerman was kind enough to send me this review copy. But like I said, more than likely we'll be taking a look at this on Thursday's show. Okay, that is it for this time out. If you were watching live, thank you very much. Always appreciate that. If you watched live and took part in chat, tip of the cap, because you're not only keeping me company, you're keeping each other company as well. So big thanks. But of course, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you very kindly for taking time out to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday. Oh, damn it. I said Monday again. I hadn't said Monday in a while. It's because I was reaching for this. I was grabbing this. I was jumping ahead. Dispatch streams live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings here on YouTube. I'll let you know that, and it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my review of Dungeons & Dragons, Fendelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk from Wizards of the Coast. You can find out what I think of the new adventure book for D&D. All right. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. And once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching. And until I see you next time, here's hoping all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.